are in last week was Parashat Miketz. This week is Parashat Vayigash. We are in the middle, ladies and gentlemen, of one of the most famous stories ever. I mean, a beautiful play was made out of it. Joseph and his Technicolor raincoats, or whatever they called it over there. We know the story, and there are a lot of beautiful lessons to learn from that story. So let me just get everybody up to date just in case. So last week's Parasha, we know that Yosef was still in jail. Paro had his dreams about fat cows and skinny cows, interesting dreams. And they took Yosef out of jail. He interpreted the dreams to it being 7 good years followed by 7 bad years. Yosef suggested to Paro to start a business, to put together all the food, so they would be, after 7 years, the most powerful land, the most powerful country in the land. He took the idea. He made Yosef second in charge. He gave him a wife. His name. Everybody remember Yosef's wife's name? Yosef's wife's name?
Asnas.
Yeah. Asnat. We're not going to discuss her today. We'll wait till next week who this Asnat was. He has 2 beautiful children, Menashe and Ephraim. And the 7, and we'll discuss that next week too. And the 7 good years pass, and the 7 bad years start. That was the last week's Parsha. Yaakov Avinu sends his sons down to Mitzrayim to get food, except for Binyamin. He's afraid to send Binyamin. They are brought in front of Yosef. They don't recognize Yosef. Yosef does recognize them, and he accuses them of being spies, and they say, no, we're not spies. We're from the land of Canaan. We're all one big family. He takes Shimon down as a hostage, and he sends them back with food, but they must bring Binyamin back. This is all last week's Parasha. Yaakov originally does not want to send Binyamin. He's nervous. Reuven tries to suggest whatever suggestion he made, not accepted. And finally, Yehuda, leadership quality, convinces Yaakov Avinu to send Binyamin. Binyamin comes down with everybody. You know the story. And then they have a meal. And at the end of the meal, Yosef takes his famous goblet. We'll discuss why that maybe later. Puts it in Binyamin's sack. Accuses them of stealing his goblet. They say, no, Fadal, please check. They check and they find Binyamin. And now at the end of last week, Yosef says to them, now you are all free to go. Only Binyamin stays. He's in trouble. And in this week's Parsha begins with Vayigash Elav Yehuda. Yehuda goes and makes a stand against Yosef, and he's going to fight for Binyamin. And that's what we're up to right now. Ladies and gentlemen, there are two glaring problems with this story so far. 2, huge. The first one I'm just going to talk about. I'm not going to show you any sources. I have a theory. Do I know for sure? I don't know for sure. It's a theory. The first glaring question every person who learns the story would and should ask is, Yosef, the moment you become second in charge, you are a free person. Get on a horse, travel back to Canaan, and say, Father Yaakov, I'm alive. You can't tell me you never thought of that question. It's so obvious. You're going to say, well, I don't know, maybe Yosef is busy. I don't know, so send a messenger. How do you not go and tell Yaakov that I'm alive? Great question. Did anybody ever hear a great answer for that question? Unless you're too embarrassed to tell me.
Absolutely.
Eleanor, what do you got?
He had a mission to fulfill, which is to show that the brothers truly had remorse and were willing to even sacrifice themselves for a brother who should be hated.
Excellent, Eleanor. Excellent. Okay, so before Eleanor's answer, which is an excellent one, that's the one I'm going to go with, even though, Eleanor, you and I do not have a proof for that. You're right? You're suggesting.
No, there's no proof.
You're suggesting that's true. But I'm going to go with it because you have this beautiful tree behind you, and it's like, I guess you're just branching out and you're doing well. That was an awful joke. That was just awful. Okay. No more jokes. Are you ready? Here we go. Michelle Bergman, boy, you're in You look like, I'm actually going to talk about the Meraglim today. You look like the Meraglim who thought they were grasshoppers in the middle of the field over there. Okay, here we go. Before Eleanor's answer, which is going to be the answer I accept, some people felt, I don't know if you like this idea because I'm going to disprove that today, but some people say that maybe Yosef was upset. Maybe Yosef felt that Yaakov was in on it. Maybe Yosef felt that they abandoned him. Did anybody ever hear that? That's what some people claim. Okay, Michelle, you give me great backgrounds. I don't know which one to stick with. But, okay, so that's a thought. I'm not going to agree with that thought. So let's go with what Eleanor said, and that is the following. Yosef really, really did a tremendous concept. Yosef felt, you might not like this answer either. You know why, Eleanor, some people don't like this answer? Because who does Yosef think he is? He's king of the world? He was king of the world. That was funny. I mean, does he think he runs the world? All right. But Yosef felt, is she okay there? Okay. Yosef felt that he needed to give the brothers a chance to do teshuvah in order to make up for their lack of sensitivity, what they did to him. The best way for a person to show that they are a better person, think about it, ladies and gentlemen. What's the best way to show? If your child does something wrong and you criticize them or you punish them, at what point do you know that they're better? When the next opportunity comes and they don't do it. Doesn't that make sense? Yeah, 100%. So Yosef wanted to find who is the closest person in the world similar to him. And the answer is? Binyamin comes from the same mother, Rachel, right? So this whole thing, according to Eleanor and according to the theory that I heard, was all planned out by Yosef. He had to, it was a challenge for him. He didn't go back to tell his father, which was a big deal, but he felt that this opportunity is a golden one. Let's wait for the 7 bad years to come. Let's wait for the brothers to come down. Let's get Binyamin down, which he did, right? And then set up a scenario where Binyamin is in trouble, they're not in trouble, and let's see what they're going to do. Are they willing to sacrifice their life in order to save a brother? That's the answer, according to some. Although we don't have proof, I feel that this week's parasha is a proof. Why? Because we're going to find out. Hi, Ellen, I just saw you. We're going to find out today and in this week's parasha, at what second, at what moment did Yosef finally reveal himself? The moment where the brothers said, we are not leaving, we are going to fight for Binyamin. Bingo! And then he said, right, I am Yosef. So that is a little bit of a proof. So Ellen, although we don't have solid proof, but I think that that's a good theory. So we're going to go with that one, and I hope you accept that. The second and more glaring question is my favorite piece. I know I say it every year. I know I say every week is my favorite, but this, in my humble opinion, and I know I've taught this before, but today we're going to go deeper, is probably the most important lesson in interpersonal relationships and in life. And that's why Hashem gives us this story. Are you ready? What's the second most, or maybe the first most glaring question? How is it possible that the brothers didn't recognize Yosef? It just doesn't make sense. How old was Yosef when he was sold? 17. He wasn't that little baby picture that you guys put up on your Zoom thing. No, he was a 17-year-old boy. He is now 20 years older, 37. Come on, guys.
He didn't have a beard.
It's not like Besser from 17 to now, no hair, fatter face, white beard. Okay, I got it, maybe. You're talking to a guy, a kid from 17 to 37. How much different can the guy look? Michelle, you want to say something? Is that a hand?
Yeah. Hey, and sorry about the change in backgrounds. I just decided my refrigerator was boring.
Michelle, you make me feel like I'm teaching my own students. That's what happens every 2 minutes. But they put on little black hats. Can you do that?
No, I don't know how to do that. Sorry.
Yeah,
anyway,
go ahead.
He was, I just read this great thing on the Torah.com. He had changed his appearance. He had shaved. He was wearing Egyptian clothing. He had an Egyptian hat. His garb, his whole persona.
Okay. So I am so excited that Michelle answered that. Michelle, you're playing right into my hands. So there are those like Michelle, right, who crossed that bridge. Cross that bridge. Okay. Who says, yeah, okay, Michelle, I'm going to accept that. The guy's wearing, instead of wearing a Hasidic shakartel with a strimel, he's now wearing, I don't know what he's wearing, the thing with the nose rings. Okay, I got it. Okay, ready? Let me make my case. It's a very big case. Okay, so here we go. To start the case, I'm going to go back to the Parsha last week. Last week, which I told you in the middle of the story, that Yaakov sent the boys to get food. First observation that Rashi makes. Remember, girls, we learned, and I'm sorry, men, we learned that every time the Torah says something, there's a reason. Vayerdu Achei Yosef, Asara. The brothers of Yosef, 10 of them, went to get food. 1 second, guys. Who told them to go get food? Yaakov. So wouldn't it make more sense if the Torah says the children of Yaakov went down to get food? Yes, they are the brothers of Yosef. Agreed. But that's not how I'm going to title them now, right? I'm going to title them the children of Yaakov. Says Rashi. Ready? Lo katuv b'nei Yaakov. See Rashi on the spot. I guess Rashi is our inspiration for how we run our class. Milamed shahayu mitchartim b'mechirato v'natnu libam litnaheg imo be'achva v'liftoto b'chol mamon she'asku lahem. What's going on? They're going to Egypt. They know they sold Yosef to Egypt. So the Torah is saying that the reason Hashem wrote Achei Yosef, because at this point in their life, they already feel bad about what they did. And when they're going down to Egypt, they're going down for two purposes. Purpose number one, to get food. Purpose number two, to find Yosef. Okay, so let me start, Michelle and everybody else, which means 10 grown men, 10 tzaddikim are going down to an area with whom in their mind? Yosef. So they're already looking for Yosef. Fair? Okay. The guy goes, he collects them. He says, you're spies. Okay, so I'm going to go with Michelle. He looks different. He doesn't have his thing. He looks Egyptian. But come on, okay? The guy is bothering them. Who's your father? Who's your brother? Who did he take as I mentioned it in the beginning of the class. Who did he take as a hostage? Of the two, who did he take as a hostage before in order to get Binyamin? Shimon. Why did he take Shimon? Maybe the brothers should start thinking, why did he choose Shimon? Do you remember why he chose Shimon? Why did he choose Shimon?
Right?
He's a troublemaker.
He's a troublemaker. Who said that?
I did.
All right, because he and who are troublemakers together?
Levi.
So how did this man know to separate Shimon and Levi? Come on, answer that question. That's a great question. Okay, keep going.
I have a question,
Yes.
Rabbi. I thought it was only 13. I thought it was 13 years.
No, 20 years. Yeah, over
20.
20 years he didn't see them. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So yes, he's older, but how much older? Okay, it's not. Again, we're not talking about like in Holocaust. Somebody saw somebody when they were 7 and they saw them in a nursing home. It's 20 years later. Not that big. Okay, keep going. So they get it. The guy takes Shimon on their way back home. And again, I say this part every year. It's not like it's a day. This is months that took time. They had to go down from Egypt all the way up. And they're sitting around the campfire and they're saying one to the other, you know why we're getting punished by this guy? Aval ashemim anachnu. We're getting punished by this ruler because we sold our brother and we were insensitive. So girls, they're talking about this. They're talking about Yosef. They're talking about they're being punished because of Yosef. No one comes up with the idea. It gets worse. Chavbet, Bayan, Reuven, Otam. Reuven says, I told you not to sell him. So here is the hope. Fine. Finally, they decide to bring Binyamin, right? They bring Binyamin down and they make a meal. Vayasimu lo levado v'lahem levadam. What does he do? What does Yosef do? He orders kosher food for these kids. They're not kids. How does Yosef know to order kosher food for them? They're having their own meal. They're having Schreiber's, airplane food. I don't know what they used to serve. Only like a few people smiled. That Schreiber's is very old. Okay, yes. How did he know to get Dixie for these guys? I mean, why are they not thinking? Think. Where is this coming from? Fair question. Fair question. And finally, the one that takes the cake. And that is, they're sitting at the meal. Vayeshvu lefanav. He makes seating charts. He makes, this is just like Corona. He makes seating charts, right? I guess he had to know who to quarantine in the meal. HaBechor kivchorato, the firstborn according to his age. Batzair kitzirato. He said, Reuven sit here, Shimon sit here, Levi sit here, Yehuda sit here. And the Torah says, Vayitzmehu anashim. And the men looked at each other in astonishment. How in heck does this guy know who is the oldest and next to next? Michelle, did I make my case? Okay, it's ridiculous. So there's a very important lesson, and I want to go deep into this lesson. But the reason I chose this lesson today, because I want to tie it into something that's happening this Friday. Ooh. What's happening this Friday?
Asara B'Teves.
Asara B'Teves.
This Friday is a fast day. So let's go through that 100%. It's a fast day. It's one of the four actually fast days that are connected to the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash.
The anniversary of meeting Ave.
Right. It is the only fast day, by the way, that happens on a Friday. No other fast day happens on a Friday. It happens to be, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, a very short fast day, simply because the day is short. You're able probably to get up. I didn't see. I think it's like 5 something. If you want to get up in the morning and get the coffee before them. Oh, hi, Laura. What time is Amud HaShachar? Do you know?
I think they said like 6:20 or something.
But
don't quote me.
No, I'm not quoting you because I think it's late. 6:20 is late.
Okay, fine.
It's
okay,
like 5:30, some 5:40 something. So you can get up, and then the only weird thing about it, it's not the only, but one of the weird thing is, when do you break your fast?
After Shabbos starts.
Right, at Kiddush. Kiddush is the first thing that somebody who makes Kiddush, who says Kiddush, can drink. You can't break your fast till Kiddush. You got it? Because even when the sun goes down, then it's already Shabbos, and you're not allowed to eat or drink before Kiddush. Everybody got that logic? Mm-hmm. So I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't know if anybody here on the Zoom is fasting, but if you're fasting Friday and you don't want to wait till whoever makes Kiddush in your house to come home, that's too bad. You have to say Kiddush before you eat or drink. Everybody got all that? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, very good. Okay, so very good. Yeah, we're good. So, Asara B'Tevet. So what is it? So let's go take a look quickly. Asara B'Tevet it finally happened, the 10th day of the Jewish month of Tevet in the year 3336. Yeah, the armies of the Babylonian Emir Nebuchadnezzar laid siege to, there was a word missing there, sorry, to Yerushalayim. Ever patient, God delayed the destruction to give the Jews another chance. Yirmiyahu came and admonished, they didn't do it. And then later, it's not the 9th on Tammuz, on the 17th of Tammuz, the walls would be breached. And then after that, they were breached on Tisha B'Av, the temple was destroyed. So let's go through those dates. The 3 fasts, Asara B'Tevet, which is the 10th day of Tevet, which is this Friday. The 17th of Tammuz, which everybody knows is Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. And Tisha B'Av, which is the 9th of Av, which everybody's familiar, are the 3 big fasts that are connected to the Churban Bayit. On the 10th of Tevet was the beginning. It was the siege, surrounded Yerushalayim. It lasted for more than 2 years, but that was the date. They breached the walls on Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, and they destroyed the Beit HaMikdash on Tisha B'Av. Okay, so that's this Friday. What's my connection? You should know this connection. So Tisha B'Av was a day that was already earmarked for, not a good day, for consequences. And we know why. From what story? Everybody should know this from years, right? Well, 550. Okay, everybody listen. Peggy, Lori, you saw? Peggy looked it up. I don't know how she looked it up. Maybe in the Inbal there is a there's a calendar that she got from the inbound
I
people.
cheated. Alan told me.
Oh, wait a minute. Ishto kegufo. Husband and wife are like one person. So that's not called cheating. That's not called cheating. 550. So 550 is more than enough time to have a couple of pieces of cheesecake before it's done. Right?
That'll get you in the mood for a sour potatoes.
Well, no, that's the only thing. I mean, you have to be spiritually, aligned. I mean, that's what gets me in the mood. It reminds me of Kippur, so that's why I do it. Okay, here we go. Yes. So everybody knows the story. And the story is the Meraglim, right? The Meraglim story is the first one that brought Tisha B'Av. So we all know the story, right? They were in the Midbar. They were about to go into Eretz Yisrael. This is from Bamidbar, Sefer Bamidbar. Hashem says to Moshe, Shlach lecha anashim, send for yourself some men, v'yatur et Eretz Canaan, and they should scout the land and check it out. Who are these men? Ish echad lemate avotav, tishlachu kol nasi bahem. What does that mean, girls? What's nasi bahem?
They were leaders.
They were leaders. These were not like third tier people, right? These were top people. And when you chose a leader in those days, ladies, if you chose a leader, you didn't choose him on his basketball skill, and you didn't choose him and how handsome he was. You chose him for his spirituality. Do we agree?
Yeah.
So we have 10 men. As a matter of fact, Rashi says, it says anashim. They were kosher people. Not kosher people mean you could eat them. Kosher people meaning that they were good people. So 10 good people, 12 good people on the level of Yoshua bin Nun and Kalev ben Yefuneh, right? 10, 12 great people. Can I take a time out for a second? I don't know if everybody's here with me in the summer. I just want to remind you something that I saw. Since most of us on the Zoom are women, let's play to the women. I have to tell you, there's an amazing Kli Yakar. Just a sideshow quick. I did this when I did Bamidbar. The Pasuk says, Shlach lecha anashim. Lecha. God says to Moshe, for you. Why does it say lecha? It usually doesn't say when Hashem gives a mitzvah. The answer is that God was not happy with this thing. He didn't want spies. So most rabbis learn, I don't think you should send spies. But if you want, go ahead. Who does this sound like? My mother. Yeah, it's exactly the way it is. I don't think it's a great idea. You want to do it, do it. Now go live with that for the rest of your life, ladies. Okay, so here we go. So, licha. But does anybody remember what the Kli Yakar said? No?
Yes. He wanted women to go.
Yeah, Eleanor, I love this. Look it up. Kli Yakar says it on Sefer Bamidbar. He says, if you would have asked me, I would have sent women. Is that crazy?
That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. It's only cool when I have a ladies class. It's not that cool when I give my other class. But okay, fine. That's a sideshow. All right. So they were chosen. They went. And it says who they are. Okay, I'm not doing that part today. Go. Got. Everybody knows they went and they totally lost faith. They got scared. They're giants. People are dying. And they came back and gave a terrible report. And most of Bnei Israel or the Erevav, whatever, didn't listen to the two good people, Kalev and Yoshua. They all cried, oh, what are we going to do? We lost faith. The people cried that night. What night was it? It was the night of Tisha B'Av, the day when the holy temple of Yerushalayim would be destroyed and would mourn forever. You cried for nothing, says Hashem. Now I will give you something to cry for. What's the glaring question here? Ladies and gentlemen, these are the men and women, but the men that left Mitzrayim. Hello? This is the generation that left Mitzrayim. They saw Dam, Svardeya, Kinim, Arov. They saw Kriyas Yamsuf. Ladies, the biggest miracle ever. They saw Kriyat Yamsuf. So they come into a situation and things are a little challenging and they lose faith. These are top people. How is it possible that these people lost faith? Fair question. So believe it or not, you should remember the answer, but I'm going to show you a hint that you never saw. Okay, I want you to try to play my game. Be nitpicky Besser. Be nitpicky Besser. Be Besser who is annoying and picks up words in the Torah. Do it with me. Come on. Be Columbo. I want you to look at these three psukim. find me something that it's repeated 3 times for no reason. The second and third time, there's no reason to repeat it. Nope. In
Shalach
bed,
3 times? No.
well, the first time it has to say it, but the other 2 times it doesn't have to say it. Okay, ready? Shlach lecha anashim v'yaturu et haaretz. It's a funny word. What's v'yaturu? Girls, the English is there. Come on, guys.
Scout out.
To scout out. Go scout the land. It's an interesting way. I would say livdok et haaretz. No, would you not say that? Livdok et haaretz. Lirot et haaretz. Latur et haaretz. You know, it's kind of funny because it sounds like an English word. T-O-U-R, no?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, maybe somebody wants to send me to Dubai to tour it out, to check it out. Let's tour it out a little bit. Okay, fine. Did you notice in this pasuk, Ele shmot hanashim asher shalach Moshe? Hello, what does it say?
Latour.
Okay, I know why you said that. You know where I always do this, girls. I don't need this. Elu shmot, you just told me. Hashem, the Torah just said Moshe sends 12 guys. These are their names. Oh, by the way, these are the names of the guy Latour. I know, you just told me Latour. Fine. The next pasuk, this is 16, 17. Vayishlach otam Moshe Latour et haaretz. Okay, God. Am I not right a little bit that this is a little bit of a repeat? So
Yes.
what's the word that keeps coming up? Latour. Yes, which in itself is a little bit of a funny word for somebody who's going to look at something. Is the case made?
Yes.
Okay. Does that word pop up in your Google head? Word? Nope. Nobody?
Well, I looked at the bottom, so I don't
Oh,
know.
Lori, you Yeshiva Flatbush graduate. So you know where I'm going. But now this is the first time I ever proved it.
And
I think it's a good proof. You don't think it's a good proof?
Yeah.
This is the beginning of the Parsha right here. And this is the end of the Parsha. It's the same Parsha. It's in Shlach, same Parsha. The end of the Parsha is clarifying the beginning of the Parsha with the same words. How exciting is that? So for those of you who don't remember where I'm going, hold on to your hats. The most important lesson in how to get along with your mother-in-law. Ready? Here we go. All of a sudden, everybody's listening. Look at that. Everybody's listening. Okay. Says the Torah, put on tzitzit, or ritemoto, see it, schartem. I'll get back to that in a minute. Whoa, velo taturu. There it is. Velo taturu, acharei lebavchem, acharei nechem. Where the tzitzis? So you shall not wander. You see, latur is to wander off. To wander off. It doesn't mean to check out. It doesn't mean to see. It means to wander off, to go off the path. So now answer my question. If it means to wander off, why are you using that verb in the beginning of the Meraglim? Agreed? Great question. Say lirots. So now you know where I'm going for those who remember. So Rabbi Dr. Tursky says, guys, this is the most important. Put it on your refrigerator. Lo taturu, do not be wandered off. Acharei levavchem, after your heart and after your eyes. You all know this. So he asks, why does it say heart and then eye? It should first say eye and then heart. And the answer is, Lori, you want to give the answer? And the answer is because usually people have an agenda in their hearts. They don't want a certain conclusion. So if you have an agenda, your heart will tell your eyes what to see. It's the scariest thing in life. I don't have enough time to go through personal examples. Look at the statements. People are blind to reality and only see what they want to see. And this one is solid. Memorize this statement. We don't see things as they are. We see them as we are. You got it? When I look at the mirror, I don't see reality anymore. I see what I want to see. That's why I'm not fixing things. Everybody understand? That's the way it is. Your heart decides what to see. You guys with me? Now I'm going to blow you away. I don't know if you remember this next part. So what did I answer? So Latour et haaretz means you got to be careful. What happened with the Meraglim? I don't know if you remember this or you know it. I'm going to give you two people who say something. One is called the Zohar. Hello. Does everybody know who the Zohar? Zohar? No? The Zohar? The Sefer, the Zohar? Somebody say yes. Somebody say yes. It's the biggest, it's Madonna's book.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the biggest Sefer on Kabbalah. He's a very, very big Kabbalist. So this is not Besser saying, this is the Zohar. The opinion of the Zohar is that the problem of the Meraglim was that they fell victim to the disease of conflict of interest. Please, if you don't know what conflict of interest is, please watch Fox News every night. Conflicts of interest. They were afraid that when they entered the land of Israel, they would lose their respective positions of prominence. Yeah. The fact that they were leaders was a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to bash these beautiful leaders, but one of the most debilitating Yesaharas is kavod, respect, kavod. Oh, we know what that is. Most of you don't know what I'm talking about because you're so beautiful people. But you know, you should come to shul with the men. You should see the fights about which aliyah everybody gets. You should see the fights about I bought this and I bought that. Anybody know what I'm talking about? You don't know what I'm talking about. You should see what goes on when it comes to, oh, that's my seat, that's your seat, that's mine, that's yours. Deep in their gut, girls, they knew that the moment they get into Israel, they're not going to have the same government set up anymore. And they might lose their positions. Girls, this is the Zohar. So the Zohar is saying inside, what was their agenda? What did they really want to see? Did they want this end? No, they didn't want that end. They wanted this not to succeed. And the moment it's in, that bug is in the heart, they don't see what everybody else sees. Is that scary? I got to tell you, the second Perush comes from a very holy man. Very holy man. Look at this. Some of you might really enjoy this. The second holy man is called the Chidushei Harim. Oh, I wonder if anybody on this Zoom, does anybody know who this is? The Chidushei Harim. Huh? Anybody? It's the Gerer Rebbe, not this one. The original Gerer Rebbe. Did you guys ever hear of the Chassidut Ger? There are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Gerer Chassidim all over the world. No, nobody ever heard of Ger? Somebody say
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Of course.
All right. Don't scream at me. Yes, the Ger Chassidim.
Yes.
Chidushei Harim was one of the holiest rabbis. Listen to what he said. And this is the Chidushei Harim girls. Chassidic. Listen to what he says. The Meraglim, fearing the impending dramatic spiritual decline from the heavenly existence of the wilderness era to the materialistic existence of having their own land, opted not to enter the end. Which means, let me explain. Where were they getting food from at this point? What's the answer?
Hashem.
Hashem. Who was doing their laundry?
Hashem.
Hashem. Who was paying their rent?
Hashem.
No worries, no financial worries, no physical worries. No one went to work. They were in a kollel state. I'm serious now. They were in a top kollel spiritual state. I'm not making a joke. This is real. Chidushei Harim says this, not me. And now, what's going to happen when they go into the land of Israel? They're going to get a piece of land. What do they got to do?
Work. Farm it.
They have to go to work. They have to go into the city. They have to work a 9-to-5 job. They got to do the land. So in their hearts, guys, this is amazing. In the hearts of the Meraglim, there was a little bit of a negative feeling. I don't know if I want this to work. And that blinded them. You don't find that fascinating? That's what the Chidushei Harim says. I just have to read to you what he says in the other part. And you know, I shouldn't talk because my kids were in kollel, but here, look at this. Chidushei Harim compares it to the setup of his time in Europe, whereby a young couple would move into the bride's family after marriage, and the in-laws would support the children for the first few years of marriage, while the son-in-law pursued his Torah studies. The young newlyweds did not need to worry about food, shelter, or making a living. The father-in-law took care of everything for X number of years. After that point, the father-in-law would tell the children, "You're now on your own."
And that's why they call the father-in-law God.
God, correct. But you don't find that Chidushei Harim saying this is fascinating? So he's not blasting this. He didn't say it's negative. He's just saying this was their life and they wanted. Okay, so everybody got the point? So what we learned from it, and I hope you like the new thing that Latur and Taturu comes together. Okay, hope that excites you. So Lema'aseh, the Tish'a B'Av story is coming from when somebody has a prejudice, they see things differently, correct?
Mhm.
Oh, now I'm going to answer our original question, ladies.
And
Our
Joseph.
original question was,
Joseph,
how is it possible that the brothers didn't recognize Yosef?
they were afraid.
You know what the answer is?
They were
Because
afraid.
they don't want to recognize Yosef. Because in their heart, the moment they admit that he's Yosef, that means the dreams were true. And if the dreams were, the dreams that Yosef had was true. And if the dreams were true, they sold him for nothing. They made a mistake. No one wants to admit that they made a mistake. Okay, guys, I gave my word to everybody around that I'm not going to become political, but I can't help it here. I'm not going to give names. But is it not true in our life when somebody has an agenda? It's right there. There it is. I see it. No, you don't see it. No, it's not true. You don't see it. No, but it's raining outside. No, it's not. Really? You think it's raining? It's not raining. Nothing to see here. There's no story. I don't know what you're talking about. Because when you have an agenda, that agenda dictates what you see. How scary is that?
Donald Trump.
So
I won.
I didn't say a word. So 10 grown people, great people, the brothers, refuse to acknowledge that that's Yosef because it just can't be Yosef. That's the message. And that's the message of Tisha B'Av, and that's the message of Asar David. Okay, let's move on. I have a lot to do. Okay, done. Next one I got to do, because you must share this with your children. This is famous, open and shut case. It'll take me 4 minutes to do. You ready? Okay, so now that they stood up, this is my point that I wanted to make. Now that they stood up for what? They stood up for Binyamin. It was Yosef's opportunity to say who he was, correct? Watch. I want you to try to imagine, actually, Michelle Bergman gave us a graphic image. Our image is that Yosef is being surrounded by, who knows, right? The guards, right? The king's guards. He's got who knows how many people in the room. And at this point, what is his point right now? I have to stop sharing for a second. At this point, what is the relationship between the brothers and this man who they don't know? What are we up to? Is it a warm or contentious? It's contentious because he said, no, Binyamin is a prisoner. Yehuda, and even starts this week's Parasha, starts Vayigash elav Yehuda. And the Gemara says, Vayigash elav Yehuda. Yehuda says, let's go. We're ready to take you guys on. We're strong. So right now, this is a do or die situation. I want you to think about it. You have a guy who has your youngest son with them, right? Can you imagine? They kidnap your child, right? So what does he do before he reveals himself? This is very famous, guys. Please share this at home. It's this week's Parsha. He could not, couldn't control himself anymore. Again, this proves to us the theory that we said before, that now he can reveal himself. Everyone, every guard, every Egyptian, get out of the room. This is open, shut, girls. This is not a medrash. I mean, I have nothing against medrash, but this is in the Torah. V'lo amad ish ito bitvada Yosef elachav. And no one was there when he revealed himself. Okay, let's go back to Besser's always question. There's not a fact that doesn't have a reason. Why is that fact so important? Says Rashi.
He would be embarrassed. The brothers
Right. Guys, this is so important for our children. Lo haya yachol lisbol sheyu mitzrayim yisemin alav she'echav mitbaishim ba'odio. He knows, he foresees that he's going to say he's Yosef. They're going to get embarrassed. They're going to be red. Maybe they're going to cry. He didn't want to embarrass his brothers. Girls, we're talking about the brothers who threw him into the pit. The brothers who made him a These are not his favorite people in the world. But he's not going to embarrass anybody. Well, you're not done. Says the Gemara. Okay, not more to embarrass. The question is, according to the first opinion that Yosef took a tremendous risk in sending his officers out of the room, why did he do that? Let me explain the question. Ladies, what might happen if he sends everybody out?
He could be
That might be
killed.
a fight.
You're going to get killed by Yehuda. This is going to be Yehuda's moment. Ladies, Yehuda was the strongest guy ever. And there were another 9 guys with him. Do you understand? I mean, this is going to be like a 007 movie, James Bond. What a moment. What a moment. What a great opportunity. It's the Bourne experiment right now, right? Everybody's out of the room, 10 against 1. Grab him, slit him, and get the heck out of there. He took his life into his own hands. So you're going to say, oh, that's so nice. No, he's doing things against the halacha. Come on, girls, ask me the question. How many things are you allowed? Is it true a lot? If my mother was diagnosed, if my mother was told by the doctor she's not allowed to eat on Yom Kippur, what happens if she wants to be religious? Oh, I just did that. She's not allowed to fast on Yom Kippur. She's not allowed to fast on Yom Kippur. If she insists on eating, what do I tell her? Did I tell her?
That
You have to listen to the doctor.
No, and halachically speaking, you're doing a sin. You're doing a sin.
Yeah.
The mitzvah is to save yourself. The mitzvah is to be alive. You guys who know this, right? So the Gemara's problem is a very good one. How did he do this, right? The answer is that Yosef was acting based on the principle. Listen to this principle. I wish your kids would listen to this. It is preferable for a person to throw himself into a fiery furnace rather than to embarrass his fellow man publicly. Anybody remember who we learned that from? No? Tamar and Yehuda. Okay, not now. Okay. Do you hear what the Gemara says? A person has to give up their life not to embarrass another person. So let me ask you a question. There are only 3 cardinal sins. Maimonides is right that if you tell a Jew violate one of I'll kill you, the Jew should violate the commandment, except for 3. What are the 3? Murder, sexual relationships, and worshiping other gods. Right? Right?
Right.
By the way, I just want to say that I made a point 2 days ago for one of my boys' classes. The boys in my are learning right now, and the girls, the boys and the girls are learning the Gemara about Yehadeg Val Yavor. They have to give up your life for 3 Avelot. So, of course, the kid pulls out his phone right after the quiz. I go, that item, you have to give up your life. It's all 3 Avelot, girls, all 3. It's Avodah Zarah for sure, because you're addicted to it, right? It's Shvichut Damim because you kill people with that, 100%, which we're going to prove now. And Gilui Arayot, we don't even want to discuss because you know what I'm talking about. So it's all 3. I told the kid, you have to get shot before you look at your phone. I don't think he believed me, by the way. I just want to tell you, that's what I told him. Okay, so let me tell you what I believe the answer is, and please share this. And the answer is this pasuk. Here's the pasuk. Lo telech b'achir b'amecha, do not be a gossip person. Don't lashon hara. Don't embarrass people. Lo tamol adam reyecha. Don't stand on their blood. Says the Gemara. Please underline this Gemara and share it with everybody. The Gemara relates that the Tana who recited Mishnah taught a Braita. Yeah. Anyone who humiliates another in public, it is as though he was spilling blood. Do you understand what that means? We're not talking about a very nice quote to put, in your classroom. According to this Tana, according to this rabbi, embarrassing a person is shvichut damim, and Yosef felt that he needs to maybe give up his life. And again, what are we dealing with? We're dealing with what? A 3-minute embarrassment? A 5-minute embarrassment? You know what that teaches me, ladies? I'm giving musar to myself. Never can a teacher embarrass a student. Never. They could chastise the student. They could tell the student whatever they got to do. But embarrassing the student in front of the class is wrong. Learn it from this story. Parents, the same thing. I'm just giving a, come here. I'm not, okay. You ready? Say hello.
Hi.
Who's that?
Where's my mom? Oh, hi, Mom.
It's mommy.
Hey, Maury, that's so funny.
Little, I just got to finish the class. Okay. 10 minutes. Okay. Here we go. She just wants to make sure you're there, Lori, because you claim that you learned Torah. They're not sure if you're saying the truth. Okay, but girls,
My kids are all home. They see me on Zoom.
Yeah, I know. No, but ladies, please don't miss this moment. This is a very important moment. Did the brothers deserve to be criticized? What's the answer?
Yes.
Yes, they deserve to be there in the bed. We're not talking about an innocent person who you're embarrassing. They did something wrong. They have a right to be whatever, screamed at, whatever, not hit, of course, but to be screamed. They have a right. And yet Yosef, I can't even get it out of my mouth. Yosef was ready to give up his life not to embarrass them. I, as a teacher, find a kid doing something wrong. I can never say he deserves to be embarrassed. No, he deserves to learn a lesson. He deserves to learn something from it. But you got to do one of these things. I better look at my mouth. You got to do one of these things. You got to go, please see me after class. Yeah, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. See me after class, or see me in my office, or call me later. And I don't always do that, and I regret any time I do it. It's the wrong thing to do. I don't know what else to tell you. It is. Parents too. I don't care what the kid does, unless it's a pikuach nefesh. If the kid comes in with a gun, you're not going to say, honey, see me after the shooting. Okay, you're not going to do that. You're going to stop it. But to embarrass a child, it's a big deal. Okay, so I'm running out of time. I got to do one thing. It's a little longer, so it'll go a little longer. It's okay. So we're going to skip a little bit. All the other stuff is famous, so we're going to skip it. Love this. I love this. Not. Okay, let's just do this one. Let's just do this. I love this one. Okay, you ready? Okay, so he asked them. He said that they're the brothers, right? Very nice. They go up to Canaan, and they're going to tell Yaakov that Yosef is alive. You guys are with me? Everybody understand the story, right? This is beautiful. If you've never heard this, please listen carefully. I'm going to do as fast as I can. Let's dissect two psukim. Again, in the Torah. So, Vayagidu lo, the brothers came, and they told him, Od Yosef Chai. Yosef is still alive. V'chihu Moshel b'chol eretz Mitzrayim. And he is the ruler over Egypt. Vayafek libo, and his heart changed, or whatever it is. What I do? We're good. Kilo he'emin lahem. He didn't believe that. Okay. So we've got two questions. The first question is, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's go back. The first question is a diduk question. Od Yosef Kai is not. Is grammatically wrong. Vayegidulo, they should say Yosef Chai. Yosef is alive. You understand? You don't need Od Yosef. Okay, you don't like that question, but it's a real question. Lo he'emin lahem. Okay, anybody want to explain to me what that means? They told Yaakov, Yosef is alive. Says the Torah, his heart started to beat, and he didn't believe them. What didn't he believe? I got no takers?
Either he didn't believe that Joseph was still alive, or he didn't believe that Joseph was the ruler over all of Egypt.
Okay. You ready, Michelle?
I'm ready.
You're doing such great answers, but you're really helping me today. You ready?
Hi, Rabbi.
Yes, Grace.
Well, why would he believe them this time when they lied to him last time? I don't know.
Okay, so you know what? I'm going to play this out because
They didn't believe that he had died to begin with.
Okay.
Well, they didn't tell him the right story. They told him he died.
All right. Okay. I love you all. This is a setup. I love it. Okay, so listen carefully. So I'm going to go with everybody who you said. So first of all, with all due respect to everybody, are you telling me that Yaakov, he has 10 sons coming back from Egypt? They're all saying Yosef is alive, and he's thinking they're such liars. Okay. I find that very hard to swallow. I mean, this is like a game. Somebody's dead for 20 years, and somebody comes and tells the person they're really alive, and they're sketching him. Okay, no offense to be so strong, guys, but it's like wow. Okay. Even if I go with you, I still don't understand. But now comes the big one. Next pasuk. I love Torah. Next pasuk. Ready? It's the next one. This is 26. It's 27. So he didn't believe them, right? Vayidabru elav, and they told him. It called Divrei Yosef, Yosef's words, Asher diber lehem, which he spoke. Vayar et ha'agalot, and then he sees the wagons.
What's the wagon?
He sees the wagons. Why? Because he looked at the next page. Asher shalach Yosef laset eto. He sees the wagons And now he is revived. Okay, with all due respect. So if he didn't believe means that he didn't believe what? What didn't he believe? He didn't believe that Yosef was alive. He thought they were sketching him up. All of a sudden he sees the wagon. Oh, wagon, boom, wagon hit him in the head. Now he believes? So let me tell you what's going on. Please mute yourself. Michelle, you want me to mute myself? It's going to be a problem if I do that. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Not you.
I know, I'm kidding. My wife's trying to be doing this for that 42 years. It's not working. Okay, here we go. You ready? You have to tell Sefreda I was really behaving today. Okay? It's called Divrei Yosef. Says Rashi. Guys, we're going to be a little overtime, but not too much. Siman Masar Lahem. Yosef gave his father a sign. Bima haya osek kishpiresh mimenu. He was studying a halacha, a Torah value, the last time they were engaged with each other. I'll get to it in a second. And they were talking about Parshat Eglah Arufah. I'm going to discuss Eglah Arufah in a second. But understand, what did Yosef do? Yosef did a CIA little thing. He sent an item that sounds like an item. Do you follow what I'm saying? You with me? It was like coded. It was a code. Eglah, he said extra agalot. Agalah, what's his metric? Agalah, oh, Agalah sounds like Eglah. Okay, what is Eglah Arufah? Very quickly, I'm not going to go into very deep. It's in Sefer Devarim. Ki matzei chalav, if somebody finds a dead body in between, in the sadeh, we don't know what happened to him. The older people should come and they measure the cities next to the corpse. The city that was the closest to the dead body. But the reason I say dead body is I never know how to say that word. Corpse. And the elders take Eglah Arufah. There's a whole process. Why is it a calf? Why is it a calf that never had a yoke?
Without Maria.
Some other time. Not now.
Maria.
Okay. V'chol ziknei ha'ir. V'chol ziknei ha'ir. Hayi akrovim ha'chalal. Everybody remember this part. I'm not going to go too deep. They do the investigation to see if they didn't do something for this man. Yirchatzu et yedehem. They wash their hands at the end of the process. And why? Ve'anu ve'amru. And they say, Yadenu lo shafchu et adam hazeh. We didn't do anything wrong. We did everything, and it's not our problem. Okay, so again, does everybody understand what an Eglah Arufah is? I'm assuming yes. I'm going fast. Good. So what's going on? This is so beautiful. Listen. Two perushim. The Siftei Chachamim suggest that even when Yosef separated from Yaakov, that not even, when Yosef separated, Yaakov accompanied him until Emek Chevron. When Yaakov told Yosef to go look after his brothers, that's 22 years ago, the Pasuk states that Yaakov sent Yosef from Chevron. Yaakov escorted him all the way to this departure point. Yosef told his father, go back. Why are you walking me so far? Yaakov responded, I cannot go back, for a person is required to accompany a departing traveler, as is taught in the chapter of Eglah Arufah. So the Eglah Arufah law is that it is your responsibility to take care of your person. And when that person is leaving, it is your responsibility to make sure he leaves safely. And therefore, the last Torah piece, the last piece of Gemara, the last Sefer that Yaakov was studying with Yosef was Eglah Arufah. You guys with me? Now you're going to tell me, really? Where did Yaakov learn this from? How did Yaakov know that this is a Torah value? Yo, here it goes. The Kli Yakar, I love this Kli Yakar always. Echoes the idea that while Yaakov was walking with Yosef, right? Kli Yakar then asks where Yaakov learned this concept, and he answers that Yaakov learned it from who, girls? From who? From Abraham, who's the biggest Akmasat Orchim, who accompanied his guests when they departed on their travels. You got that? So which means that this value was given over from Abraham to Yitzchak, from Yitzchak to Yaakov, and now Yaakov is giving it over, and he explains the concept is an Eglah Arufah concept. Everybody with me? Yes? That is why, by the way, very quickly, everybody knows this part, we have a custom to walk our guests out. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, can I just say one little thing before I give the answer? Okay, there are many, there are X amount of people on the Zoom that have probably been more part of my life than I was, or I am. If there's one word, okay, I know you're going to be afraid to say it here now, girls. What is my favorite word of all when we do anything in the Chesed mission? Okay, it starts, Valerie, if you're on, it starts with the same letter as your name starts. Rina Minash. No?
Validate.
Validate, yay! Who gave the answer? Oh, Jeannie. Jeannie, okay. No, it's not validate, it's validate, yeah. Okay. Can you see this beautiful piece? I love this, and then we'll come back to the answer. Okay, watch. Look how nice. Why is this so? Why is it so that it's so important to walk him out? Because when one accompanies a person, he provides him with something that is basic, dignity. You can give a person a piece of bread. I'm just on a Zoom, okay? You can give a person a piece of bread. You can give him clothes. And at times, a person go hungry and not dress in the best way, right? But there's something every human being needs, and that is water to the soul. Every person needs dignity. Every person must feel that he is appreciated, that people take him seriously. We are teaching junior year, Kibud Ava'em. And there's a beautiful halacha in Kibud Ava'em, that it's not about what you do for your parents, it's how you do it for your parents. You can have a parent who's getting a steak every night, but you throw it to him, or you have the maid do it, or you have somebody else giving it to him. You don't even spend time. As compared to giving him something not so expensive. Hi, Daddy. How, Mommy? Here, this is for you. I prepared it for you. That's what's important. It's not the item that's important. It's the gisha, we say, the gisha, like Vayigash, the approach that's important. When a guest comes to your house and you worry about him leaving, he doesn't feel that you want him out of your way. Do you guys follow what I'm saying? He doesn't feel like you want him out. He feels, oh, look, the guy wants me to stay. He liked that I came. How beautiful is that? You're validating that person's existence in your home. Yafeh. Okay, I just wanted to say that. So now, girls, let's answer the question. I love it. Are you ready? I hope you're excited about this as I am. I loved all your answers about him not believing. May I suggest? I'm going to give you 2 suggestions, and then we're done. First is basic. Second one is deeper. What was my first question? Od Yosef Chai. Od is not necessary. Not necessary. He still. Girls, you know what he didn't believe? Of course, he didn't think that they lied to him about him being alive. But they said, Yosef is alive, and it's Od Yosef. He's still religious. He still has Torah values. He's the same Yosef as he was 70 years ago. That Yaakov said to himself, they're lying. They're doing that in order to make me feel good. There's not a chance a 17-year-old boy goes into the corrupt, immoral Egypt with not one Jew there, with not a yeshiva education. There's not a chance he's still from. Not a chance. That makes sense. That makes sense. I could see my kids lying to me for that because they don't want to aggravate me. So yes, he believed there was a lie, but he didn't believe that it's still Yosef. Fair? But what did he see, girls? Yosef is sending him the page of Gemara they were learning 20 years ago. Oh my gosh, he still remembers what we learned? This is his first word to me. It's like he never stopped the connection. Wow, I believe it. Come on, how nice is that? Okay, if you thought that was nice, I'm going to give you one nicer, and then we're going to call it a day. Okay? Deep, very deep. What did I tell you? What did they do? What do they do at the end? What do the rabbis do at the end? The Skinim? No, what do they do in Eglah Rufa? They go through everything and they find out that they didn't do anything wrong. And come on, girls, what do? You're chatzu et yadehem. And they say, Lo shafchu et yadenu, lo shafchu et hadam hazeh. Our hands did not spill this blood, right? I hope you like this. It's the last call. Here we go. I would like to offer that when Yaakov heard Od Yosef Chai, that means he's still religious and he's still connected. He didn't believe that Yosef is still okay with everything that they did to him. You with me? Not about religion. Old Yosef still wants to be part of our family. Yaakov couldn't believe it after he figured out that they threw him into a pit and they threw anything. Really? Yosef still wants to talk to us? Yosef really cares? He really thinks that we're okay? He thinks that we have a relationship? And he taught him Eglah Rufa, because Eglah Rufa teaches us that the rabbis say we are not in charge of this world. We do what we do, and God runs the world. And I'm going to prove it to you next week because it's already 2:07. Next week, you're going to hear Yosef continuously say, I'll prove it. I'll start the class with that. God did this, not you. God wanted me here to save everybody with the food. So that was the message of Eglah Rufa, not only a religion, but also don't think I'm angry at you. I believe that God wanted this to happen.